All right, we're at that point where you are getting ready to present your first speeches. I know you're both excited and nervous as we get forward in the actual speech component of the class. So as we look at giving a speech, there's a few basic components that you're going to use for every speech that you give, not just for this class, but every speech and presentation moving forward. These are good philosophies and tips to use. I've been using them for 10, 12 years and have never really swayed from this because of the success that I have with this format. So the first is that every speech is going to have an introduction. And an introduction is important because not only does it introduce the audience to the topic that you're presenting on, but it gives you an opportunity to get the audience's attention, right? We talked about the importance of an introduction and a conclusion specifically. If you don't get the audience's attention in the introduction, they're not going to listen or really care what you have to say when you get to the body or the conclusion of the speech. The introduction is also going to serve as a preview, so it gives the listener and the audience a roadmap to follow, something that tells them, hey, this is how this speech is going to go. They will naturally zone back in when they hear that you're going to finish, right? So you can say something along the lines of, good afternoon, my name is Rick Curry, and today I'm going to be giving an informative speech about hairless cats, otherwise known as the Sphinx. Now, I'm going to start by giving you a little bit of background information about the Sphinx breed before talking a little bit about the characteristics and personality traits. And then last, I'll tell you about some organizations that specialize in the adoption of Sphinx cats if you're now interested in having one as a pet. Right, so that introduction introduced the audience to the topic. It also gave a preview. So the body of the speech is what's going to come next, and the body of the speech, of course, is where the majority of your material is. 75 to 85% of the speech content is going to be in the body of the speech. Now, most of the time, you will see people suggest that the body of the speech have three major components. So component 1, 2, and 3. I don't necessarily ascribe to that philosophy. Sometimes I think speeches with fewer main points in the body are actually better speeches. So if you only have 3 minutes to talk about a topic, you may not be able to include the history, the characteristics, and the adoption information. It's simply too much information for any topic to include. So sometimes less is more. So I will not fault you if you only have 2 main points in the body of your speech. And lastly, you're going to have a conclusion, and the conclusion is the easy part. That's where you restate, you wrap up, and you get out. So I might say, and in closing, today I've talked about the Sphinx cat. I've given you a little bit of history about the background of the Sphinx breed, talked about their characteristics of their personality, and I ended by telling you how you can adopt one here locally. Right? So it's restate, wrap up, and get out. If you follow this philosophy for every speech that you give, you will be successful. Now you will see a sample outline here. The sample outline is posted on the course website, so you have access to it. There is also a blank template for you to download on our course site. So a speech outline is required for every speech that you do. So you'll be submitting these completed to Dropbox with your speech information. And we